Hi Nico, welcome. Can you introduce yourself?
My name is Nico Kleynhans. I come from Cape Town, South Africa. I run my own company. It's a financial advisory service, and I started in 1990. So it's been around for a long time.
And why did you specifically choose to do it at BSN?
Okay. I heard about BSN on the radio more than 10 years ago, and this in fact is my second term at BSN, because I signed up at that point in time, and in my final year I had a life-threatening disease and I had to leave. And I've always had a regret that I didn't finish it. So I thought at the beginning of this year I should do it again, and this time get through to the completion of the course. I chose BSN because the model is ideal for people running their own business. Because you're going to get a safe, protected environment. You're going to be guided by people who really do care about what you're doing, and they're going to at least help filter some of the mistakes that you can make if you're trying to bring change about in your business. So for me, I see this as a safe place where I can try some of the ideas that I feel I want to bring about.
Okay, and what impressed you the most then of Business School Netherlands?
I think it's a couple of things. You form dialogues with people here. You get to see a very different kind of environment, but also coming from Africa, I think in many ways the action learning model is ideal, because the government education system falls very far short, and you're taught to be a parrot. And action learning is not about being a parrot. It's about applying information and asking the right questions. So it's actually about bringing a change in behavior rather than improving what you can remember. And that's really what I like about the model.
And how does this reflect your business?
Well, when I came here the first time, it was because I wanted to change my business from a commission model to an advice-paying model. And I knew that fewer than 2% of people who had tried succeeded. 98% of those who tried failed. And what I learned at that time was how to bring about the change. So the model has changed. It is as the way it was supposed to operate, and today I'm not threatened by the further changes in legislation, where of the 10,000 colleagues that I have over there, 80% will probably have to close their business.
What kind of potential improvements do you see?
Well, if I want to make comment on two levels. I want to make a comment on the improvements I see within BSN itself, and then I also want to make for my own company. Having looked at it over a 10-year period, the course is much more focused this time around, incredibly more so. You clearly have put a lot more thinking into the process. You're challenged a lot more in the discussions, because there's a lot of discussion work. It's not just a classroom where Prof is showing you how clever he is. You're having to interpret that information immediately. And I like that focus. I think it's going to be more helpful. By the time you've been here for 2 or 3 days, you're beginning to find yourself almost using your free time and thinking, how do I now bring this change within my own business? And I noticed that 2 of us have already sent emails to our staff in our own companies and said, I want you to try this assignment on your own. I'd like you to report back how the feedback worked. So we're already beginning to see, can our staff handle this approach? Are they able to make decisions? Are they able to do analysis? And for me, that's what I find very helpful about this particular approach. It's transferable relatively easily.
In what ways do you expect BSN to empower you and your business? How do you think it will go after your study?
Well, I want to achieve 2 more things. One, I believe our government has made a strategic mistake in the way it's wanting the industry to change. And I really believe a lot of people are now going to try and make the change, who don't have the benefit of an action learning program, are going to struggle. And I honestly want to start doing the public circuit out there. I want to begin to say to them, it's not as scary. These are the steps you can apply to make sure that you have a higher success rate. It's not rocket science. You just got to break the problems down. And I think I do have an idea of what needs to be done, and I want to explore that potential. Also, I think with our government, they tend to listen to you more if you start adding more qualifications behind your name. And I've already spoken to the regulatory authority. They are interested in how I'm suggesting, and I'm hoping this is going to push me over the top for that as well.
And what do you think about the lifelong learning principle?
Okay. I was born in 1952. So I'm well over my 60s, and I'm starting the course again. And that is simply because I absolutely believe in lifelong learning. If you want to work with my company, you have to go onto learning programs. You can't just sit there behind the desk. Every person, every year, has to either continue with the education they've already done or start a new course. It's compulsory. So I absolutely believe that lifelong learning is critical, because you've got to develop yourself as well as your business.
What are your suggestions and thoughts on bringing BSN to another level?
Okay. What I like about what BSN is doing now, which is new to me, is the thing that we call an international op, which means I am forced now not only to work on my own company, but to work on an international basis with other students achieving a particular outcome. And in our group, we've chosen to work with wildlife in Zimbabwe. So I will learn how one creates an environment that the local people can benefit from tourism, and that it becomes in their interest to work with sustainability in those reserves. So it's going to be new for me, but it also meets a concern that I have, and that in itself is going to bring about a lot of change for me. In terms of BSN, there is a sense in which we are your ambassadors. So as we begin to make change, people will ask, where did you get the ideas? And that is the sense that we can bring about change even within BSN, and make it easier for them to keep critically looking at the problem beyond the classroom. Because I think that is necessary.